Let's cover mediation. Mediation is a type of ADR that consists of a third party coming in, evaluating the situation, and then recommending a solution for both parties, but not enforcing that solution. Let's take a look. Mediation can be considered any type of dispute resolution that involves a third party giving their opinion on a dispute or analyzing the situation, but not making a decision themselves. As the name says, they only mediate the situation. There are many specific implementations of mediation, which include, first, neutral evaluations. These are situations where a third party evaluates the evidence and the arguments of both sides. They are usually technical in nature because the mediator must have technical knowledge so that they can properly analyze the situation. Another example are settlement conferences, which are situations where both parties sit with a judge that takes a look at both sides' evidence and arguments and suggests a settlement for the situation, but does not actually enforce it or make any decision. And finally, another variation are review boards. These are boards that are usually composed of 3 people, 3 different mediators, and that all give their impartial look as a group on a dispute. In some cases, within mediation, there is a distinction drawn between facilitation and evaluation. These can be considered 2 different types of mediation. Facilitation is about only helping both parties communicate, while evaluation involves an actual analysis of the situation. So facilitation, that is less formal, and it's more about assisting both parties as they communicate instead of formally analyzing the situation. Evaluation itself is a more formal process where, well, as the name says, there is a formal evaluation of the situation according to a set of criteria, maybe following a specific process, and evaluating the evidence and the arguments of both sides. This usually also requires technical expertise on the part of the mediator or expert for the disputes that actually require them to have this technical knowledge. Naturally, both types are considered mediation by definition, because in both there is a third party that helps but does not enforce a solution. What are some examples of mediation? The first is involving an expert mediator. If a merchant and consumer cannot negotiate among themselves, then they may request an expert mediator to suggest a path forward. The second example is bank mediation. If a merchant and a cardholder cannot negotiate among themselves, their banks will usually do it for them. The acquiring or merchant bank representing the merchant and the issuing bank representing the cardholder. This is considered mediation by these banks. There are also situations where the banks cannot reach a settlement, so the payment scheme is involved and they enforce a solution. In that case, there is arbitration instead of mediation. And finally, a hybrid example is mediation arbitration, also known as MED-ARB. In this hybrid model, the mediator starts by suggesting a solution, mediating, and if the parties still don't accept the solution, then that third party can arbitrate it, making a binding decision. So it goes from mediation to arbitration. What are our key takeaways here? The first is that in mediation there is no decision. It's a type of alternative dispute resolution where a third party analyzes a situation and presents a possible solution to both sides, but that's all they do. Second, there may be multiple formats. The third party may be an individual expert, a board, or any other type, as long as they mediate the dispute and present a solution. And finally, mediation can usually be categorized into facilitation or evaluation. Facilitation is just about guiding communication among both parties informally, while evaluation involves a formal analysis of the situation. So as we see, mediation is a powerful type of ADR because it relies on an impartial third party. It can be split into these 2 types, facilitation and evaluation, and it's helpful to solve disputes.